WWE Smackdown Live, the top 7 takeaways from WWE Smackdown. I'm about to break it all down. I have a cold, so if my voice is different, if I'm coughing, that's why. But the top 7 takeaways from WWE Smackdown Live, I'm about to get into it right now. Number 1, Becky Lynch is still the face that runs the place. I am sorry, AJ Styles, but we have a new face that runs the place. Her name is Becky Lynch. She came out to a raucous ovation, called out Charlotte Flair. Her and Charlotte got into it. That was good stuff before Paige broke it up. And then we had the entire SmackDown women's roster come down. And it was a weird segment at first, but we got the news that there would be a battle royal later on in the show. It would be for a spot in the TLC match versus Charlotte and Becky Lynch. I found that very interesting, very random, however, that a random battle royal was taking place, but I'm going to get into that later. This was a good segment to start off the show. Becky Lynch, the man, is back. The last kicker, Becky Lynch, is back, and I cannot be any more excited. Next up, number 2, tag team wrestling still matters on SmackDown. So we got the Bar versus the Usos, excuse me. Now, you can make the argument that SmackDown needs to vary up their tag team division. You know, we need to use more tag teams. But what you can say is that the main tag team feud doesn't matter. Much like you can say for Raw. The main tag team feud, whatever's going on with the main 2 teams for the tag team titles, they always put on a good show, and that was no different with the Bar and the Usos. They put on a phenomenal match, multiple near falls. The crowd was very into it, and the Usos defeated the Bar, and it's looking like they will have another title shot. I mean, anytime you defeat the champions in a non-title match, you're in line for another title matchup. So it should be another great matchup with the Bar and the Usos. Probably gonna go down at TLC. We'll see how it all plays out. Number 3, AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan is off to a great start. This heel run by Daniel Bryan, very early in it. I don't know how it's gonna pan out. I think it's gonna be great for the short term. I don't know about the long term, but as for the short term, to further out the AJ Styles feud, it was a great idea to turn Daniel Bryan heel. So AJ Styles came out, talked about how what Daniel Bryan said was bullcrap and that he wanted him tonight. But he said that Daniel Bryan wasn't there. He said that he was getting ideas from Raw, from Brock Lesnar, and that he better bring the title to TLC because it belongs to AJ Styles. So I'm very interested to see this feud. To see how far they take it. It is December. I'm assuming that Daniel Bryan obviously gets the win here, just my assumption. But what's going to happen going into the Royal Rumble? The SmackDown title picture is wide open. Are they going to stick with AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan? Are they going to go with somebody else? What's going to be the match for WrestleMania? That is very much out there. So I'm very interested to see how it plays out. Next up, SmackDown continues to deliver fresh feuds. Jeff Hardy came out for the 20 years celebration. We got a great video package, a fantastic video package that brought back memories of Jeff Hardy that I had forgotten about, that was so great and so underrated, like him winning that WWE title at Armageddon. Great moment. But to the point, Jeff Hardy grabbed the mic to thank the fans, thanked his family, talked about how he had horrible lows, but everybody stuck by him. And it was a great moment, but I'm just sitting there like, okay, who's going to interrupt this? So Samoa Joe comes out. It wasn't Randy Orton, surprise, surprise. Samoa Joe came down and he just ripped Jeff Hardy apart. Got his inner CM Punk on. Talked about how he would like to prepare a toast, but that wouldn't be the best idea around Jeff Hardy. And he just pounced on Jeff Hardy's bad past. And it was a phenomenal promo. I'd ended with Jeff Hardy challenging Joe to a fight. Joe came down and then he turned back around, thinking better of it, pulling the heel maneuver there, saving it for down the line. Maybe we'll get that at TLC, but Samoa Joe, Jeff Hardy, a fresh feud in WWE, not a fresh feud overall. I've seen it many times in TNA, but on SmackDown Live, a fresh feud and one that, you know what, I'm very interested in. So next up, there is not much filler on SmackDown. Another takeaway, not much filler. And even a match to where you feel like it's filler even serves a purpose, like The Miz versus Kofi Kingston. It was a decent match at best, didn't get a whole lot of time, but they made it work with the time that they did have. And Kofi Kingston picked up the win, which led to The Miz going to Shane McMahon and complaining about where he is. He was upset. And The Miz versus Shane McMahon, or The Miz with Shane McMahon, trying to get Shane to be his partner. That continues. And I'm pretty sure we're going to see a match with The Miz and Shane McMahon, either at the Royal Rumble or WrestleMania. We'll see how it all turns out. The next takeaway is that I'm more interested in Rey Mysterio and Randy Orton than I previously thought. What started off as two old guys just, together in a random match on SmackDown has progressed pretty nicely. Randy Orton talked about how he ripped off Rey Mysterio's mask, talked about how he wanted to embarrass him. He didn't want to disrespect this culture, but he did want to turn Rey Mysterio into an embarrassment. This brought out Rey Mysterio. He was mad. He had his neck braced, and he went at it with Randy Orton. Eventually got the upper hand, hit a 619, grabbed the chair, but Randy Orton would have the last laugh as he would send his throat with the chair into the ring post. Very nice, sick looking spot. And yeah, I'm interested in this feud. I want to see how it turns out. It's very interesting. And I know it's just Rey Mysterio and Randy Orton. Not a great feud, but it's some good stuff has been done to gain my interest. So I'm very interested into it. Last up, the last takeaway from WWE Smackdown is that Asuka has a prominent spot on a pay-per-view once again. The Women's Battle Royal closed out the night. It was your main event, and it was decent enough. I felt like it got very rushed in the beginning, but it came down to Asuka and Sonya Deville, and at that point I was like, okay, Asuka's gonna win this. Decent at best mini match, nothing to knock the socks off, but Asuka picks up the win, and we will have Asuka versus Charlotte versus the man Becky Lynch for the WWE title, and in a TLC rules match. So this is going to be a phenomenal matchup. I think I know how it's going to go. But overall, I'm going to save that. I'm going to look at that triple threat versus the possible triple threat of Charlotte, Ronda, and Becky Lynch versus this one. And I'm going to compare that on the podcast. But looking at this matchup at TLC, it's going to be a phenomenal matchup. I cannot wait for it. I really think Asuka is just there to take the pinfall, unfortunately, but we'll see how it all turns out. And I'm just happy to see Asuka back in a prominent role. They were treating her like trash, but we have another prominent spot for Asuka, another spot for her to shine in, and we'll see how it all turns out going forward. Those are my top 7 takeaways from WWE Smackdown Live. Let me know what you think down below. What did you think about SmackDown Live? What do you think about my top 7 takeaways? You can either hit me up at OMGCorby or at the number 2 Sweet POD on Twitter, or you can hit me up in the YouTube comments down below. Let me know.